Hello students and welcome to Virtual Learning Network. This is session 4 for Modern India 1857 to 1964 and here we will study the revolt of 1857. The topics to be covered are introduction, causes, organization, the rebellion, leadership, defeat, causes of failures and impact. Now, first is introduction. The revolt of 1857 forms one of the most important chapters in the history of the struggle of the Indian people for liberation from the British rule. जो रिवोल्ट था 1857 का वो बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है इन द कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ द हिस्ट्री ऑफ फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल फॉर इंडियन पीपल. It shook the foundations of the British Empire in India, and at some points it seemed as though the British rule would end from all time to come. जब रिवोल्ट शुरू हुआ था 1857 में उस टाइम पे ऐसा लगा था कि जैसे ब्रिटिश रूल अब एंड होने वाला है. द अपसर्ज वॉज सो वाइड स्प्रेड दैट सम ऑफ द कंटेम्पररी ऑब्जर्वर्स कॉल्ड इट अ नेशनल रिवोल्ट. Now the causes of the revolt: exploitation of the peasantry, alienation of the middle and upper strata of Indians, annexation of princely states, the alien rule, impact on the sepoys, threat to religion, and the immediate cause. Now we will discuss them one by one. How did the revolt break out? What were its causes? The main reason for this was the ruthless exploitation of the Indian people by the British. सो जो रिवोल्ट शुरू हुआ था 1857 में उसका बेसिक कॉज जो था वो था जो इंडियन पीपल फेस कर रहे थे, वो सारी प्रॉब्लम्स जो ब्रिटिशर्स क्रिएट कर रहे थे और इंडियन पीपल को एक्सप्लॉइट कर रहे थे. द कंपनी वॉज फॉर्म्ड इन 1600. जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी थी वो इंडिया में आई थी 1600 में एंड वॉज गिवन अ रॉयल चार्टर बाय क्वीन एलिजाबेथ विच कन्फर्ड ऑन इट द एक्सक्लूसिव प्रिविलेज टू ट्रेड विद द ईस्ट. Its main aim was to assume the trade monopoly in India. It was not an ordinary merchant company formed for trade, but had its train of soldiers who fought battles with the Portuguese and the French trading companies in the 17th and 18th centuries in order to establish its trade monopoly. जो बेसिक मेन एम था जो ब्रिटिशर्स का वो था इंडिया में ट्रेड मोनोपोली बनाना ताकि कोई और मर्चेंट कंपनी उस जगह को हथिया ना सके. और इन्होंने एक पूरी ट्रेन थी इनके साथ सोल्जर्स की, बहुत सारे सोल्जर्स थे जिन्होंने पोर्तुगल और फ्रांस के साथ बैटल्स भी फॉट किए हैं 17th और 18th सेंचुरी में. नाउ फर्स्ट कॉज ऑफ रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 वॉज द एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ऑफ द peasantry. The permanent settlement, which was effective in Bengal Presidency and in large parts of North India, did not recognize the hereditary rights of the peasants on land which they had earlier enjoyed. So, जो hereditary rights होते हैं किसी की भी प्रॉपर्टी पे जो उनको अपने पेरेंट्स से मिलती है वो राइट्स जो है वो उनसे छीन लिए गए थे पीजेंट्री से. उनके पास कोई राइट्स नहीं थे अब उनकी लैंड पे काम करने के लिए, तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम थी. देन the peasantry was also oppressed by petty officials in administration who extracted money on the slightest pretext. तो बेसिकली इसको हम कह सकते हैं एज करप्शन. जो ऑफिशियल्स थे वो छोटी छोटी बातों पे peasants से पैसे निकलवाते थे. इफ़ द peasants went to the law court to seek redress of their grievances, they were bound to be totally ruined. अगर पीजेंट्स लॉ कोर्ट भी जाते तो वहाँ पे भी उनको सिर्फ निराशा ही मिलती थी. देन नेक्स्ट इज एलियनेशन ऑफ द मिडिल एंड अपर स्ट्राटा ऑफ इंडियंस. It was not merely the peasantry that got alienated from the British rule, the middle and upper strata Indians also felt oppressed. सिर्फ पीजेंट्री नहीं, जो मिडिल क्लास और अपर क्लास थी इंडियंस की वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस्ड हो गए थे इसके लिए, वो भी ऑप्रेस्ड थे. ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड ऑफ मुगल्स और इवन इन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द लोकल प्रिंसेस एंड चीफटेन्स द इंडियंस सर्व्ड एट ऑल द प्लेसेस बोथ लोअर एंड हायर. तो मुगल्स के टाइम पे जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन होता था लोकल प्रिंसली स्टेट्स का, चीफटेन्स का, वहाँ पे भी जो इंडियंस थे वो लोअर पोजीशंस पे भी थे, हायर पोजीशंस पे भी थे. Even the most brilliant of Indians were subordinated to the second or third rate Britishers who, as a matter of right, grabbed all the higher paid positions. जो अपर क्लास के अच्छे ब्रिलियंट इंडियंस भी थे, वो भी सबॉर्डिनेट की तरह काम करते थे ब्रिटिशर्स के लिए, और ब्रिटिशर्स भी सेकंड रेट या थर्ड रेट ब्रिटिशर्स के लिए. नेक्स्ट इज एनेक्सेशन ऑफ princely states. The native state of Awadh was annexed by Dalhousie in 1856 on the pretext that Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was mismanaging the state. तो अवध का जो नेटिव स्टेट था वो डलहौजी ने अनेक्स कर लिया था, मतलब उन्होंने वहाँ पे कब्जा कर लिया था, और सिर्फ ये रीज़न बताया था कि जो नवाब वाजिद अली शाह थे वहाँ के, वो स्टेट को ठीक से मैनेज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. These annexations embittered the rulers of these states, making Rani of Jhansi and Begums of Awadh staunch enemies of the British. ये जो बेकार की कब्जे करने वाली बात थी, जो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स जो पहले से ही राजा महाराजा चला रहे थे, उनकी जो एक प्रॉपर्टी पे उन्होंने कब्जा कर लिया था, तो इस वजह से भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा रिवोल्ट आ गया था, एनिमीज़ बन गए थे ब्रिटिशर्स के. देन नेक्स्ट इज द एलियन रूल. Another important reason of the unpopularity of the British was the alien nature of their rule. They never mixed with the Indian people and treated even the upper class Indians with contempt. They had not come to settle in India but only to take money home. So the Indians could never develop any affinity towards them. जो ब्रिटिशर्स थे वो कभी भी मिंगल नहीं होते थे इंडियन पीपल के साथ, कभी भी उनके साथ मिक्सअप नहीं होते थे, ना ही वो सेटल होना चाहते थे इंडिया में, तो वो इंडिया को अपना नहीं मानते थे. दे जस्ट वॉन्टेड टू टेक मनी फ्रॉम इंडिया. नेक्स्ट इज द इम्पैक्ट ऑन दी सी पॉयज. सी पॉयज थे सोल्जर्स जो वहाँ पे ब्रिटिश आर्मी में थे, और उनके ऊपर भी बहुत ज़्यादा उनको भी बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानियाँ फेस करनी पड़ी थी. द रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 ओरिजिनेटेड विद द म्यूटिनी ऑफ द सीपॉयज. These sepoys were drawn mainly from the peasant population of North and Northwest India. ज़्यादातर peasant population में से ही sepoys को लिया जाता था. They were paid a monthly salary of 7 to 9 rupees, out of which they had to pay for their food, uniform and transport of their private baggage. The cost of maintaining an Indian sepoy was only one-third of this British counterpart in India. Moreover, the Indian sepoy was treated roughly by the British officers. They were frequently abused and humiliated. Next is the threat to religion. An impression was created among them that their religion was being attacked by the British. This belief was also shared by the general civilian population. At several places, conversions to Christianity were reported to be made. The most important of these uprisings were the Kutch Rebellion in 1816 to 32, the Kol Uprising in 1831, and the Santhal Uprising in 1855 to 56. So, कई बार ऐसा भी हुआ था कि लोगों को लगा था कि ये उनकी रिलीजन, उनके धर्म को लेके थ्रेट है, क्योंकि कई बार उन्होंने ऐसे भी अलग अलग जगह से रिपोर्ट सुनी थी कि लोगों को क्रिश्चियंस बनने पे मजबूर किया जा रहा है. नेक्स्ट इज द इमीडिएट कॉज. The atmosphere was so surcharged that even a small issue could lead to revolt. The episode of greased cartridges, however, was a big enough issue to start the rebellion on its own. जो sepoys को cartridges दी गई थी उनकी guns के लिए, वो ग्रीस्ड होती थी, जिसमें ऐसा सुना गया था कि बीफ और पिग फैट होता है, और बीफ जो है वो हिंदुओं के लिए बहुत बड़ा पाप है खाना, और पिग फैट जो है वो मुस्लिम्स में गलत माना जाता है. So the grease was in some instances made of beef and pig fat. This completely enraged the Hindu and Muslim sepoys and made them believe that the government was deliberately trying to destroy their religion. Now next topic is organization. Now what kind of organization did the rebels employ in order to raise their banner against the British? कौन सा ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन था, किस टाइप के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को रिबेल्स ने, जो रिबेलियंस थे, उन्होंने यूज़ किया ताकि वो ब्रिटिशर्स के अगेंस्ट जा सके? ऑन दिस क्वेश्चन देयर हैज़ बीन अ गुड डील ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सीज अमंग historians. One view is that there was a widespread and well organized conspiracy, while another view maintains that it was completely spontaneous. कुछ लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं कि वो पहले से ही वेल ऑर्गेनाइज्ड एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी थी, पूरा षड्यंत्र था, और कुछ लोग सोचते हैं कि वो एकदम इंस्टेंटेनियस एक्शन था जो लोगों ने लेना शुरू किया. द फैक्ट सीम्स टू बी दैट सम काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइज्ड प्लान वाज इन एग्जिस्टेंस, बट it had not matured sufficiently when the revolt broke out. Now, the rebellion. On 29th March 1857, a young soldier, Mangal Pandey, stationed at Barakpur, revolted single-handedly, attacking his British officers. सबसे पहले अगर हम देखें तो रिवोल्ट शुरू हुआ था 29 मार्च को, जब मंगल पांडे ने अटैक किया था अपने ब्रिटिश ऑफिसर को. He was hanged and not much notice was taken of this event. But it showed the resentment and anger aroused among the sepoys. Less than a month later, on 24th April, 90 men of the 3rd Native Cavalry stationed at Meerut refused to use the greased cartridges. 85 of them were dismissed and sentenced to 10 years imprisonment on 9th May. The Gujars from the surrounding villages poured into the city and joined the revolt. Then, in the next 1 month, the entire Bengal army rose in revolt. Whole of the north and northwest India was up in arms against the British. मंगल पांडे की जो पूरा केस था उसके एक महीने बाद ही मेरठ के पास 90 मैन ने वो कार्ट्रिज यूज़ करने से मना कर दिया. उसमें से 85 को 10 इयर्स की इम्प्रिजनमेंट सुनाई गई थी. उसके एक मंथ के बाद बंगाल आर्मी ने रिवोल्ट शुरू किया और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे करके नॉर्थ और पूरी नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया में रिवोल्ट शुरू हो गया था. Even when the people of particular areas did not rise in revolt, they offered their help and sympathies to the rebels. In central India also, where the rulers remained loyal to the British, the army revolted and joined the rebels. One of the most remarkable thing about the rebellion was its solid Hindu-Muslim unity. सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ जो इस रिबेलियन में थी वो थी कि हिंदू और मुस्लिम्स के बीच में बहुत ज़्यादा यूनिटी थी. The Hindu sepoys of Meerut and Delhi unanimously proclaimed Bahadur Shah as their emperor. Now next is the leadership. बहुत सारे ऐसे लीडर्स हुए हैं जिन्होंने ये रिवोल्ट शुरू किया था. The storm centers of the revolt were Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Bareilly, Jhansi and Ara. All these places threw up their own leaders who, for all practical purposes, remained independent, even though they accepted the suzerainty of Emperor Bahadur Shah. Now first is Bakht Khan. In Delhi, Bahadur Shah was the leader, but the real power lay with the soldiers. दिल्ली में बहादुर शाह लीडर थे लेकिन जो मेन पावर थी वो सोल्जर्स की थी. बख्त खान, who had led the revolt of the soldiers at Bareilly, arrived in Delhi on 3rd July 1857. From that date on, he exercised the real authority. He formed a court of soldiers composed of both Hindu and Muslim rebels. Then, next is Nana Sahib and Tantia Tope. At Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. The rebellious sepoys also supported Nana Sahib, and under his leadership, both the military and civilian elements were united. Then, most of the fighting was, however, carried on by Tantia Tope on his behalf, and it was Tantia Tope who passed into the popular legend as a great patriot and anti-British leader. Next is the Begum of Awadh. At Lucknow, the Begum of Awadh provided the leadership and proclaimed her son Birjis Qadr as the Nawab of Awadh. But here again the more popular leader was Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faizabad, who organized rebellions and fought the British. Next is the Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi was another great popular leader. She believed that she had been robbed of her ruling rights in defiance of recognized Hindu law. Though she showed some hesitation at the initial stage, she fought valiantly once she joined the ranks of the rebels. Then Kuvar Singh. Under his leadership, the military and civil rebellion were so completely fused that the British dreaded him most. With a war band of about 5,000, including about 600 Danapur sepoys and the rebellious Ramgarh State Battalion, he marched across hundreds of miles to reach Mirzapur, Banda, and the vicinity of Kanpur. Next is the defeat. The British captured Delhi on 20th September 1857. Even before this, the rebels had suffered many reverses in Kanpur, Agra, Lucknow and some other places. जो 1857 में रिवोल्ट शुरू हुआ था उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा डिफीट भी देखी थी. सबसे पहले ब्रिटिश ने 20 सितंबर को दिल्ली को कैप्चर किया और उसके बाद फिर काफ़ी सारे रिवर्सेस कानपुर, आगरा और लखनऊ में भी देखे गए थे. द फॉल ऑफ दिल्ली स्ट्रक अ हैवी ब्लो ऑन देम. दिल्ली के कैप्चर होने की वजह से काफ़ी जगह प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट हुई थी. तात्या टोपे escaped into the jungles of central India where he carried on bitter guerrilla warfare until April 1859 when he was betrayed by the friend who was a zamindar and captured while asleep. He was hurriedly tried and put to death on 15th April 1859. Then the Rani of Jhansi died on the field of battle on 17th June 1858. By 1859, Kuvar Singh, Bakht Khan, Khan Bahadur Khan of Bareilly, Maulvi Ahmadullah were all dead, while the Begum of Awadh escaped to Nepal. By the end of 1859, the British authority over India was re-established fully and firmly. Now the causes of failure. There were many causes of failure which led to the collapse of this mighty rebellion, like lack of a unified program and ideology. मतलब पूरी कॉन्स्पिरेंसी क्रिएट करने के लिए एक स्ट्रक्चर नहीं था, पूरा उन्होंने पहले से प्लानिंग ठीक से नहीं की थी. देन लैक ऑफ यूनिटी अमंग इंडियंस, इंडियंस के बीच में यूनिटी नहीं थी. देन लैक ऑफ सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द educated Indians, disunity among the Indians and military superiority of the British. Next is the impact. Despite the fact that the revolt of 1857 failed, it gave a severe jolt to the British administration in India. 1857 का जो रिवोल्ट था वो फेल तो हो गया था, लेकिन उसके लिए भी जो रिवोल्ट शुरू हुआ था उसने ब्रिटिशर्स की पूरी उनका तख्ता हिला दिया था. The structure and policies of the re-established British rule were, in many respects, drastically changed. Like transfer of power, the first major change was that power to govern India passed from East India Company to the British Crown through an act of 1858. तो जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का जो मेन काम था ब्रिटिश रूल स्थापित करना इंडिया में, वो ट्रांसफ़र हो गया था अब ब्रिटिश क्राउन पे. देन changes in military organization. Second drastic change was effect in the army. Steps were taken to prevent any further revolt by the Indian soldiers. Then divide and rule policy. This policy of divide and rule was also introduced in the civilian population. Then new policy towards the princess. Another important change was in the British policies towards the princely states. The earlier policy of annexation was now abandoned and the rulers of these states were now authorized to adopt heirs. Search for new friends. Besides these changes, the British now turned to the most reactionary group among the Indians, like the zamindars, princes and landlords, for strengthening their fortune in the country. Now here are some questions for you. First is, how and by which sections was the peasantry exploited? Second is, what were some of the main reasons for the defeat of such a mighty rebellion? Thank you and have a nice day.